And people usually ask, what's the best time for doing Qigong? The rule of thumb is when is the major cardinal dates, for instance, winter solstice, summer solstice, spring equinox, and autumn equinox, usually a couple of days before that day and a couple of days after that day. Typically, if you want to do Qigong, you get more bang for your buck, because those are major either yin-yang balanced day or it's extreme yin, extreme yang dates. So you could use that big tide to help you changing your small tide. Okay, that's one. And some people are extremely sensitive to moon cycle, the brand new moon versus full moon. Okay, and the middle of the half moon and the other middle of the half moon, some people feel very different energetically. We have the story of a wolf will be all howling if it's a full moon. For some people, same way. Beginning of the moon and the full moon, they feel different energy, get a burst of energy. Okay, so when that's the case, use it wisely, enjoy it, right? And then compensate a bit later on. And in terms of times of the day, and typically people say 子午卯酉, the best time. 子午 means it's middle of the night, 11 to 1, or noon, 11 to 1 p.m. Okay, so our hour is 2 hours. Our one period, time period, 一个时辰, is actually 2 hours in regular clock time. So those are the hours if you're meditating or doing Qigong, it's very, very beneficial. Okay, and Mao Yu would be 5 to 7 in the morning or 7 to 9 and 7 to 9 morning or evening. And those are all major organ times. Okay, 11 to 1 is your heart time, right? So those in terms of times of the day, if you're purposefully adjusting certain organs, so you use those hours, and that would also give you more energy benefits than the other hours. And actually, Western medicine just found out some of those times you shouldn't do surgery. Some of the times it's better to give medicine because the blood and tide flow into the organ. And if you want to use the medicine to take care of certain things, so that's another way. It's a time of the day instead of a time of the month. Okay. And that being said, if those were the times very difficult for you to observe, we're not, modern people. We don't go by the sun. We don't go by the moon. We don't go by any stars, right? So what do? Just form a habit, right? If you like to get up and do some Qigong in the morning, then try to do more active Qigong, more movements, more rising the yang kind of exercise. If evening is the only time you get to do Qigong, so do a little bit of movement to get the stress, get the stretch, get the fatigue out of the body, and then doing more in Qigong, more meditation, more stretching, more balancing the energy so you have a good night's sleep. So nighttime is never good for rigorous exercise. All right, so that's the Chinese Qigong's principle, how to use what's going on in nature to allow you to synchronize with it or take the tides, ride the tides of nature's energy. Okay, so that's some of the, I would call it rule of thumb or some of the ancient wisdom, how to use the time in the day, in a month, and in a year to really adjust your own yin-yang balance. Okay, all right. How does that sound to everybody?
Thank you.
Cool.
I wrote it down.
Sounds very cool. Yes, those are ancient wisdoms, but more and more I'm believing that some of those most ancient wisdoms actually are very advanced. They don't know, I don't know where the knowledge comes from, but their way of observing what's going on outside is way more sensitive than us human bodies today. Okay. Some of the animals didn't lose that sensitivity, but we, hiding in the multi-structure kind of a being, we are losing that instinct that maybe it is instinctual for our survival before, but now less and less so. So if you don't use it, guess what? We're very insensitive to nature. And I have seen people in shorts running out there. They maybe really have a lot of young energy, or they may be just so plugged they couldn't even feel the weather's impact on them anymore. You guys be the judge. But if you did that, and years after you found arthritis, you found strange aching pains, and you never linked it to some of the early accumulation to the exposure, and then this medicine will never link the two and teach you early on how to get along with nature, how to be one with nature. And you see so many, for instance, menstrual irregularities. They never link it to how they dress and how they eat. But in Chinese medicine, we always know the two are linked. Okay, so how to do Qigong, when to do Qigong has some wisdom, and also your everyday life's habit has everything to do with actually your health. It just maybe you don't know the cause and effect, but it's definitely connected. All right. So for us, I would love us to more and more tune in your mind to connect with the body and know how to read body signals or what body is telling you. So then from what you eat to how you follow your natural cycle, more and more it is body wisdom driven, not just what your mind wants. Okay. We see people, they're so tired, but they wouldn't put the cell phone down. They couldn't. They couldn't. Why? Because the organ energy is so weak. There's no general making a decision for you anymore. Okay. So the mind, like a wild horse, just carry you here and there, right? And children, if you observe them, when they pass their bedtime, when they're overtired, they don't want to go to bed.
That's right.
If they're naturally tired, you go with their schedule, with their rhythm, they will sleep. They will sleep well. Okay. So for us, Qigong, one of it, one of the benefit of it is to connect your mind with your body again. So you could listen to the signals from your body. Okay. All right. And with that, you'll gain the same wisdom that the ancient people have. When they live in bare nature, they literally have to go with nature, right? They cannot go against it. They won't live. They wouldn't survive. Am I right? Okay. All right. That's the little chat before word. So listen to the recording, Ronnie.